Good evening, good evening. Or I could say good morning. Depends on where you're at and what time you're actually watching this live stream or replay, shall I say. Since the powers that shouldn't be don't post my notifications when I have certain lives going up, whenever you catch it is when you catch it. But the title of this particular live stream is What's Next? It's a lot of things going on. And as I always say, it seems like it's coming something normal of me saying this is something that happens within the world that affects our lives on the daily. You know, far as it goes from being in Minnesota, they're continuing the shutdowns. Now it's going to be shelter in place in Minnesota come Friday. I don't know where you're located around the United States, but it seems like day by day we hear something. What's going on, Shad? I know you heard about the shelter in place. Do you still go into the place that you'll be at, or how's it looking in your neck of the woods out in the sticks? Let me know something. And I appreciate the ones that have jumped in here. This is man, I done heard a lot of people, already or going to be claiming unemployment if you work a gig. And if you're a small business, it's a little bit different because, I learned something today when it comes to small businesses. That 50 billion package loan is, to keep small business afloat. Now, it sounds good how it's presented, but it's a loan. They stipulate a loan. Loan means you have to pay it back. Now, if they had said it was a grant, that would have meant, the employers would have got, or, small businesses would have got money to help their business stay afloat. But since it's a loan, it's not going to be a lot of small businesses that are going to do that because you figure they got to play catch up for however long their businesses are shut down. So that means a lot of businesses will be going bankrupt behind this whole farce that they got going on. Because I'm not believing anything that they're saying about it. This is all to usher in something that we've never seen and never had before, because at least within my lifetime, you figure, I think the last time it was something close to this magnitude was 1918, and that was the Spanish influenza uh, uh, pandemic. And I don't think anybody that's from back in 1918 is still with us here today. And if they are, they ain't got too many marbles rolling around in their head. What's going on, Lisa Smith? I'm glad you jumped in here too. You said, yep, you heard. And yeah, they sent something. Uh, you said they sent something. Your landlord. Yeah, I heard a lot of people. I mean, it's good to get up on, if you have mortgages, hopefully you can talk to your mortgage company and get it deferred for however long this goes on in your, you know, state or whatever. Or if you have a, like you said, landlord, hopefully you get your rent um, deferred. If you have car payments, you can get that deferred. I have a partner, and he told me he had his car payment deferred for at least 2 months. So depending on however long this takes to rectify itself, if it will in that amount of time, hopefully him and his family will be all right with that, and a lot of people's families, not just my partners. So who else is in here besides Reddit Shot and the infamous Lisa Smith? Y'all gonna have to get on and take over the channel of Too Cool to Con and speak on something. It's a lot of things you can speak on in this these ongoing days. And like I said, this is only the third month. This seemed like this been a whole year in itself within this little 3 month span of 2020. And if you have the opportunity, like I said, I always try to, get conversation sparked. But if it's becoming too overwhelming for you to type in the chat, I will open a hotline where you can actually speak your piece on whatever you may speak, whatever you may be seeing, whatever you want to impart to the masses that actually tune into Too Cool to Con. Because, like I said, we might not have everybody that is that are regulars or newbies because they don't send out notifications like they should. I guess because if you don't play by Orwellian rules, you kind of get the the backroom treatment. Like, oh, you got to come in through the rear. They practicing that systemic racism on this particular platform, and it shows. It doesn't matter how many times you send feedbacks and things like that. Systemic racism is practiced heavily, and if you ain't going along with the yes, a boss, sir, then you're gonna get disregarded. But melanated brothers as myself and others and melanated sisters, we know what's going on with that. All I can say is at every turn, expose them as you can. When you catch one of these people that's practicing that way, catch them in the act red-handed, expose them at every turn. That's what I say, and that's what I will continue to do. But yeah, I don't know. So it'll be well, I say 2 week furlough because how it's looking around here, it'll be 2 weeks until things, quotation marks, get back to regularly scheduled business at hand. But you know, to me, it seems like it may go a little longer than that. I don't know. This is a unknowing situation where it's undetermined, to be determined. But besides that, how's everyone's night going? I mean, I guess I look at it like this. You know, they say shelter in place. That means you can still, go get gas in your car. You can go to a grocery store. You can go check on uh, uh, family members and people that may need some aid and assistance or something like that. I guess you can still exercise and go to parks and things like that. So it's not totally a lockdown situation. I don't think they put in place any type of curfew or anything of that particular matter. But yeah, as far as all, every look at it like this, all from the time since I've been a little itty bitty, and a lot of other you done caught colds, you done caught flus, you done caught pneumonias and been bronchial or whatever the case may be, and asthma and different allergies and things like this. This doesn't phase me. I don't see family members get took off this planet for way worser things. So I'm not stunting no media propagated thing that you should worry about. Whatever happens is gonna happen. I had a debate on another social media platform. I was basically saying, them trying to do all these tests. I remember, those ancestry.coms, a lot of people would, oh, you just get a swab of your DNA and then you just send it in. Well, what a lot of people didn't know, they was using that more than just to see what your ancestry was. It was, oh, this can be sold to, different law enforcement agencies and things like that. Well, what do you think will happen with this when people, oh, I just want to get tested because I want to make sure I don't have whatever. They're going to use that for essentially a DNA, a human genome where they can read your DNA and sell it like they sell your personal information when you go to different websites and things like that every day. So, no, I don't need no tests. If I catch something, I catch something. No man-made fear propaganda is gonna pump no fear into my heart to be like, oh, I need to do this and fuck around and make a mistake. Nah, it ain't happening, and I don't advise anybody to live like that and think like that. Let me see. Let me back up. You said if you can pay that shit. Yep. Getting shit deferred is only gonna hurt you in the end. More people die from the regular ass flu. True. You said that shit is a cover for the economy doing horrible. What's up, Lo? You said what's good, y'all? What's up, Lisa Lease? Lisa Smith said gas is $1.60 down where you're at. Shad, you saying what's up to Low? And Lisa Smith said what's up, Larry? Hey, well, I look at it like this. Some people don't have the option not to do that. I'm not going to fault certain people for, if they can do it or they can't do it. It just depends on what type of job they have and, what type of, way they retrieve their revenue, So I can't fault nobody for, trying to, defer it for however long. To me, it's all clicks on a computer anyway. They make it seem like, oh, well, we gave you this loan and we're losing out. What a lot of people don't know, like if you got a mortgage or if you're paying on a car payment, they have another insurance policy that you pay when you pay your payment for, be it a car, be it a mortgage. So if you default, they get all their money back anyways and still get their house, get your house, and then you still are on the hook for that. So I don't look at it as, oh well, I'm doing this company a disservice. No, they're winning all kind of ways. They're winning from whatever interest rate that you signed on a dotted line to take that mortgage, or depending on what your credit rating was when you got that car loan. So no. And just think, all these big businesses, they're getting big bailouts, and so they're not hurting. If anything, when you seen that 2 trillion, a lot of people say, "Oh no, we get 1,200,000,000, and if you got a kid, that's five and all that." No, you're gonna be paying for all that money that they so-called gave you. That's actually your money down the road. So things is gonna be even more higher. So you may see, oh, gas is low right now. That just means when the time comes, it's gonna skyrocket back up again. Okay, now let's see. How do you receive the money? Okay, this is how they said you'll receive the money. Depending on what your last, the way you got your taxes last year, depending on if you got direct deposit, it'll go into that particular bank account. So that's how you'll receive that stimulus money from whatever your last bank account that you filed your what is it 2018 taxes or whatever. And the thing is, some are saying, I done heard, well, we need to get it out in a couple weeks, but then they said it could be as long as December. So I don't know if they're gonna put a rush on that for people that actually need it, or is it really gonna go out till December? Nobody knows yet. This is all still up in the air. I want to say they just passed it either earlier today or something like that. So we don't know. Let me see. What's going on, Joe Frank? Yeah, you said same way they will get it back. Most definitely. And we're about to have super, what they call it, hyperinflation. After all this, and it's gonna be new things in place. Think about it like this: after 2001 and the World Trade Center, after that whole situation, you know what they wanted you to believe. I don't believe that either. It went the way they said. But after that situation went down, what did we see different? After, think about it, they shut down the airlines for who knows how long. I can't remember how long they shut it down. I think damn near a month or something. And when they came back online, what did they have? They had Homeland Security at every airport. So that means either you buy a ticket and you go, because think about it like this. I always say you will see people back in the days before it was, uh, the what should I say? what is that? Essentially like a check port at the airport. You could just go to the airport and, hang out there. You can actually buy things and all that out there. But after that came in places, that was like essentially you got to buy a ticket if you're going to go back there towards the gates. You can't do that. So with that being said, now I think after this starts back up, it's going to be something in place that appears that wasn't there before. Mark my words. I don't know what yet, but it will be something. You said order out of chaos, disorder out of chaos. It's like to me, it's like, think about it like this. You know, you're wagering both, you're playing both sides. You got money on both sides. So either way, it's like you're splitting the bet. You know, you're going to come out on top because you're playing both sides. Think about all politics, but this is the easiest way to think about it. WWE, I like to still call it WWF. A lot of people, oh, this person's bad, and we all know it's fake. But when you're a little kid, you're like, oh, Hulk Hogan or whoever is, the bad person on the other side. At the end of the day, they all are cool. They all go out to dinner and everything. But they're playing towards the public to, stir up that energy, to get you to buy into, what they are selling. So that's the same that will go for this particular situation. And most definitely, knowledge, you said the U.S. Patriot Act. That is what really came into play after 911, as they call it. And what came into play with that, a lot of people don't know. Like I said, you know, I don't forgot what year it was, but I went to go buy a car with cash. The car was barely anything. It was an older Z28, not the Z28 I got now. It was a turquoise Z28, and I went to a lot. It was on a back lot. It was just, it was still LT1 hype engine and everything in it, but I went to pay cash for it, and this was around the time I still had my Corvette and everything. I went to pay cash for it. I'm like, this car is, I could tinker with it and flip it, but it's a cool price. They said, okay, you can have it. The only thing you have to do is sign your social security number to be able to buy this. I'm like, wait a minute. I just purchased, a Corvette and a few other choice toys, and I had to do any of that. Matter of fact, I had a cashier's check for those purchases, but since I was paying for with cash, it became some, you know, I didn't understand it, but I got versed that day. I got versed, and they kept having other people come out to me. Well, this is just how it is now. Ever since this, and they wouldn't get down to the nitty gritty. I'm like, you know what? You got to show me. I'm not gonna do it, but I want to know why. What's the reason? And then the guy came and we went to a back office and he looked up on a computer. He's like, well, see here, it's the Patriot Act, and whatever amount that we deem that, you know, is suspicious, even though I have, credentials to prove where I get my money from, that still doesn't matter. We can, that you still have to provide, your Social Security. And how they was basically trying to say it, even though I think they was running a bunch of bullshit. They were saying, well, all car dealerships got to do that. And I'm like, that's a bold-faced lie, because I went to a car dealership and they didn't do that. But you see that I have melanin pigmentation. Like, how's he getting this money? How can he just do that? So I said, you know what? You just lost out on a sale because of you being idiotic. And some people, they don't understand. Like, well, what do you mean you lost out? That mean I won't buy it from you. I'll go elsewhere and still make the same person purchase, if not better. In actuality, I did find something better. But the thing is, I got versed. I got taught a valuable lesson on how they could pick and choose. If you look a certain way, they can treat you a certain way because of certain laws that are enacted. Now, knowledge, you said you was on lockdown. What should you do? Lockdown where? Were you talking about lockdown in your state, lockdown in the penitentiary? Which kind of lockdown are you referring to? I don't want to get it misconstrued. And I appreciate the like so far. Like I said, oh, in the penitentiary. Uh, well, it just depends on what state are you in right now. What state? Because I know what New York's been locked down. What is it? California, Texas. Yeah, I heard Texas. I don't know if it's so much of, or is it? Matter of fact, I think Texas might be locked down. I'm not particularly sure. I know they have certain things in place, but I don't know if it's like curfew type of lockdown. Now, if Cadillac J Just was in here, I know he's in the Carolinas, and okay, not yet. Okay, that's what I figured because I was like, I didn't hear nothing about that. But I know, think about it like this: the more states that you hear falling and doing that, with a shelter in home or shelter in place, the more states that will be apt to do it. Because think about it like this: that's what the essentially the president is dangling in front of their heads. Oh, you get this money essentially if you lock down these states. Oh, wait a minute, I think we need to do it. Oh, the state next to us did it. Because think about it like this: Wisconsin did theirs, declared theirs yesterday. Then Minnesota declares theirs today. So think about, so if Louisiana declare, don't you think Texas gonna be getting up on it? It's like, okay, the next day did it, so now I got to do it. You said essential workers only. You got to have a pass to move around. Yeah, like they got that in place too. Like if you're a nurse or you're a doctor or something like that. I want to say in our state they done made even though you might as well say it's a curfew for the grocery stores. If you're like a cashier or you work at a grocery store, you have to prove that you work for these different establishments to essentially not get hassled. But they close all the grocery stores down around like 8 or 9 around here. So then it's like, okay, we know your job's closed down. What are you doing out? I guess the only other thing you could say is, oh, I'm going to visit a family member that's by themselves or old elderly or something like that. That may fly. Oh, you said it closed around that time too. And you think about it like this: so the grocery store is closing at 8. Ain't no bars open, ain't no restaurants open. And if it is something, it's drive through because you can't eat in none of these restaurants. You only could get it to go. I don't even think they're operating at their usual hours. So it's essentially, it's like, oh well, there ain't nothing open. So what are you doing out? Essentially, when nightfall comes, it's like, what are you doing out? It's nothing open. Uh, we trying to cut down your gathering. They try to say, oh, well, you don't want to be associating with this person or that person, not mass gathering. Think about it like this: they put that not associating with people in place because think about it like this. Remember when we seen the yellow vests over in France and all these Hong Kong and down in South America where they were protesting and all that? Well, this eliminates all that because it's like, you know what? It's a sickness going around. You can't talk to people. You might catch this and all this. If you came up in any inner city, you don't see people get gunned down right in front of your face, or don't know some family members that don't have some gun violence problems or anything like that, beat to death and all that. I ain't worried about someone hatching and all that. Like I said, I don't see family members pass from the a man-made created AIDS virus, and that shit's wicked. But actually, a cold and all that, no, I ain't tripping off of that. And the amount of so-called cases that they say they have is I probably say a 1 percentile of whatever your population is in your state. Because our state is like, I want to say 280 cases or something like that out of probably 3 million that's in the state of Minnesota. That ain't shit. I'm not worried about that. But they want you to think like that. Oh, you got to think like this. No, fuck how you talking. Show me the facts. And once you start getting in these officials' faces about that, then they want to clam up. Oh, we can't talk anymore. Of course you can't talk anymore because you can't back up what the fuck you saying. Like I put in the community post, it's patent numbers on all those so-called things that are facing the public. So if it was released by man, that's man-made. I mean, yeah, it may be some cause and concern, but if that's the case, you should be worried about certain entities that hold that done bought up all the bullets and things like that. Those cause damage too. But I ain't gonna be worried about it because to me, I ain't out of pocket to be worried about it. And if your day comes, it comes. You can't be sitting up here being worried about, oh, okay, this might happen, that might happen, all these hypotheticals. No, live your life every day to the fullest. And the thing is, what's so crazy? They said essential workers. When they was reading, when the governor of this state was reading the list of what essential work, law enforcement, nurses. These are understandable. Medical professionals, ambulance and things like that. The one that got me, news media. Well, they're essential. Why is news media essential? That lets you know they're in with law enforcement and all that bullshit. As soon as I seen that, I'm like, oh, the news media could be out. But what if you're a blogger or something? No, you can't be out. None of y'all bloggers could be out. You might reveal some shit that's people's, that's one of our people that's doing something against the people. You can't be out. But all these other people that work for big corporations and shit like that get tax dollars, they can be out. No, that means all this shit's a sham. I ain't paying attention to none of this shit. Long as I know I'm within my rights, I'm good. As far as listen to the bullshit ass propaganda, no. Look through that shit. So yeah, you listen to it, but you got to listen to it for what they're not saying. Okay, they didn't say this. So that actually means this shit means this. That means they're trying to implement that. No, you can't swab my mouth for a test to get my DNA because you're willingly giving it to them and they can do what they will with it. Because if that's the case, I'll draw up something like, okay, I'll let you have it. But if it gets sold or anything, I should be able to reap this much money. And then you got to sign off on it so it'll be good. You know what they're going to say? Well, we ain't going to do that. Why? Because that means you'll be liable. So no, you cannot have my DNA. No, I will not swab it. If I come down with something, I come down with it. And if I get over it, I get over it. If I don't, I don't. Yeah, most definitely scare tactics. Yeah, any folks of color dying, anybody dying. It don't have to be someone melanated. It could be a partner that was American Indian, Latino, some white folks that's with the program and cool. You know, but they try to all this division. Oh, you need to be scared of this person. Oh, you need to practice what's it social distancing. Why you don't want people to talk? Well, I thought this was America. We supposed to, this is the melting pot and all that. No, the 1% is running a whammy on y'all motherfuckers, and we don't want y'all get to talking and rising up, like they were doing in all other countries when wrong was facing the people. No, use your minds, use your brains, understand that they're trying to run game. Let me see. You said they speak that in Think, Grow Rich and Seven Deadly Thoughts, Ill Health and Poverty. Most definitely. That's why I say you always got to do your research. I try to drop little things that you can research and things like, because essentially I posted that Forbes article, and if you haven't seen it, when you get time, go where I post my affirmations at in the community page. I posted the Forbes article where essentially they want to put through a digital currency. Because think about it like this: oh, well, if it could live on hard surfaces and things like that, you know it could be on the money and we'll keep reinfecting people. So we need to get rid of all the money and then we'll just have a digital currency. You could probably look it up on your computer or whatever. We'll try to enact something where, you know, you can just do it like that. You don't have to pass money or anything like that. You can just type in certain numbers. Because think about it like this. In certain ways, we already have that. It's just not on a major level. Because I done been in the stores, ain't had no money. They give you the option for PayPal. You hit your PayPal code and you can walk out of the store with whatever you got if they got that option in that particular store. So essentially, that's cashless right there. They're just not implementing like that because not a lot of places got that in place. But think about it like this: if depending on how long this goes, it's gonna knock all these small businesses out. Now, the small businesses are the ones that really don't have a lot of the, well, it's some that have, you know, you could pay with card and things like that, but a lot of them, they don't like to do that because they get charged a certain amount of money to do that. So it knocks all these small businesses out. So what's that going to do? That's going to either have all these big corporations gobble up all that shit or, you know, knock their dicks in the dirt. So they're not going to be around no more. So that means, okay, now since this done came about, all these big companies that are left or that done gobbled up all these small ones, they're gonna have these things in place now. You know, we're not gonna take money no more. So a lot of times, I mean, it's good. People are like, yeah, I'm getting my money out, but you got that fiat paper currency now. If it was coins and things like that, that's a little bit different because you know they can't say, oh, we can't clean the coins. Yeah, you could clean the coins, but they could put discrepancy on that money. They could mess around and say it's worth nothing. You know. Now let me see. You said Donald Trump ain't giving us nothing. He's trying to get reelected. Like, okay, yeah. Well, think about it like this. A lot of people think, oh, well, now if we get that money and Trump okayed it and all that, well, maybe Trump ain't too bad. I mean, they're all politicians. It don't matter if he was a Democrat or you know him being a Republican. They all ain't got your better interest at hand. That's how I look at it. But some people may disagree with me. You know, I look at it like this. I kick back and watch old folks talk. Oh, this person is this, but it's like I look back and be like, man, why are these people getting triggered by this? This shit is it's so many triggers in life. If you kick back and watch it, you can just see people get mad. Just like back when Obama was in, you was seeing, you know, melanist people get triggered by Obama and stuff. Oh, Obama this and all that. But I don't see shit that Obama did that I didn't even agree with. So I'm like, no. But you can see the triggers, just like we can see our own people get triggered. You know, YG came up with "fuck Donald Trump" and all that. You know, people was playing it, and you know, white people get mad about that. And I mean, okay, it's all triggers. Don't buy into that. Don't spend your energy like that. Why do they want me to be able to be triggered? You know, what am I taking my eye off the prize for, you know, either being happy about, you know, trying to piss someone off or someone pissing me off and them being happy and me getting all pissed off. So, no, just pay attention to how they try to, you know, get you to get you to distract you from what's going on. Just like I seen an interview. I'll say it like this, and I'm quite sure some of y'all might have seen this particular interview. I'm not gonna say what interview it was and who was being interviewed, but you know, I guess someone said something about, you know, the 5G technology that will be coming on, and if you pay attention, you'll see it within your inner cities, you know, that's coming on board. And this person that's of he's not actually from this country. He's from Russia, and he tried to put a spin on the person saying, "Oh well, they try to say you get cancer from, um, you know, these 5G cell phones, and it's not the cell phones. It's actually from the Gwyn towers or the cell towers, but they're actually called Gwyn towers. That you know look like it's a whole bunch of I had to post a photo of it where you could kind of tell. But if you've seen how a cell tower looks, it's the frequencies that come off of those that radiate throughout, a certain diameter of the community. They're sending out more frequency waves that are on the same level as if you were sitting inside of a microwave. That's what gives you cancer. And a lot of these places are placed around schools. A lot of these places are placed around mall areas and things like that. So where people frequent a lot, they'll be getting hit with them waves. And then when, oh, this person done got diagnosed with some cancer. What? And people just be thinking like, well, where'd it come from? This is where it done came from. But, they don't want you to investigate that, because then it's like, okay, we got to hold some moratoriums. People don't want this in their community. No, let's put these all in the inner city, all in the gentrification areas where it's a lot of people from different areas that never been in your particular area, that's walking at night with their dogs and things like that, looking at you strange, and you done been in this area forever. You know, they'll be getting hit with it too. Oh, and I just got a diagnosis for skin cancer and all this kind of stuff. Well, where do you think it's coming from, idiot? Do your research. But they don't want people talking like that. Like, wait a minute, you know, that means these corporations ain't gonna profit if we start having the public waking up to things like that. I don't want you to profit off a brother, sister's, mother or auntie or brother or cousin passing away from some cancer unnecessary because some profit-driven corporation said, "Hey, put it in their community." Who cares what the frequencies are? We don't live there. We live way out in the sticks. We don't have to worry about that. No, fuck anybody that think like that. Fuck any entity that operates like that. Most definitely divide and conquer. Let me see. You said it reminds me of when Obama gave people paid furlough days, but instead, uh, giving people a check. And I think back about this during Obama's time. Remember cash for clunkers? Remember, okay, you can get so much a credit if you trade in these cars that aren't getting good gas mileage. I just reread about this, but that was back in '09. All the cars that they got, they poured I forget the particular chemical down into the engine if it was still running. They poured it in the engine, couldn't use the engine, couldn't use any body parts. I think the only thing they could use off the car was the transmission. Everything else had to be crushed. Now, a lot of people are like, well, so what about that? Well, think about it like this. I remember back in the day when I was coming up as a teen, it used to be junkyards that had cars back from damn near the 40s. You can get parts and, damn near rebuild a car. And, if, oh, okay, I done knocked the fender off or knocked the bumper off. You go in a junkyard and get all that. Now you go to a junkyard, it ain't none of that up in there. You ain't finding anything like that. You finding probably oldest thing you may find is from, I'm just guessing, maybe 95, if that. I'm thinking more like 2000. Ain't no cars from nowhere in the 80s. Ain't nothing in there from the 70s. And damn sure ain't nothing in there from the 60s. Now, maybe if you live out in, California or Arizona and more drier climates, it might be a little bit different. But I know around up in the Midwest, they done eliminated that. They don't want people to have cars that essentially don't have, because think about it like this too. A lot of them older cars from back in the day, they didn't have like they don't have GPS or anything. It didn't have no trackers on it. All the newer cars have that. So okay, we know where he's going. Okay, so on top of we know where he's going tracking his car, we already got uh law enforcement vehicles, EMS vehicles that got trackers on their vehicles reading your plate. That's why they changed all the plates to the flat plate. If anybody remembers, plates used to be kind of, the numbers and letters used to be raised. It was different. They all went to flat, and the letters or digits were in black, almost like a black and white, where the that the technology that reads the plates will just automatically could scan the plate and enter in their system. The cop doesn't even have to enter the number. if they pass the car, it's automatically logged into the system. So okay, if you got tickets, okay. Think about it like this too. I noticed this at Walmart. I don't really notice this at any other kind of like Targets or things like that, but it could be at Target. But I went to Walmart on last this past Saturday, and it was a cop rolling through every aisle. He's just rolling through every aisle. He was just regular driving. It wasn't like he was hunting for nobody, but each aisle he rolls through with that plate reader, he can track every car that's in there, and they'll tell him like, okay, the blue uh the blue Chevy, okay, they got an outstanding warrant or something like that. So what do? They can go post where it's open, where they can kind of see, a bird's eye view of that car. So the person come out from Walmart, like, oh yeah, I'm getting whatever, my toilet paper, whatnot. They get in their car and oh damn, they bumped me. Well, you know why? Because they got that technology now, where they don't even have to. Because a lot of people are like, oh, they ain't gonna sit up here and enter in every single plate. They don't have to. The computer's doing that. The algorithm. So it's just a lot of things I think people need to be put up on. And if, like I said, if you don't believe me, when you get off this thing, just type in police car plate reader or law enforcement license plate reader, and it'll pull up something if they ain't knocked it off. Because a lot of that type of information they want to knock off. They don't want brothers to know about that kind of stuff. But someone put me up on it. I'm like, oh, that's what they really do. And then on top of that, logo, say this, okay? Say they do stop you, depending on what your attitude is. It used to be like a paper questionnaire, like, okay, this person was kind of irate. They could enter that in on the computer, like, oh, this person was like this. They smelled like marijuana or whatever. So the next person, law enforcement, that bumps you, those notations will be in there. So that shows how they treat you from the next stop. Or maybe you was cool, but they couldn't get you. Oh, this person was irate. So that will bring about, why is this cop acting all whatever, because it's all in whatever the notes that they put in there when they stopped you. So a lot of times, if you can be as cool as possible. It ain't talking about kissing nobody's behind, but it's like, yep, okay, I got my papers is all up to date. I mean, I'm on my way to wherever I'm on my way to. Okay, yeah, you said it's cameras on their car. Yeah, it's a forward facing camera, but it's like a night vision camera. Is one at the lower, I want to say the lower end of the it's like a side. It's one at the front at the in I want to say either in the grill, and then one on the side, and then one at the back. So when you pass it, like say you're passing on a freeway or a highway, it'll just automatically, it's directed, aimed towards where your plates would be. So it'll hit that signal. It'll tell what time that the cop car passed your car. And they have these on bridges too. A lot of people don't know that. They have these night vision cameras on bridges. You go past a lot of bridges, you got to look up. You'll see the the light poles and all that, but then you see like, okay, that looks like it's a camera. Okay, that looks like it's like a black looking camera with red on it. That's a night vision camera getting your plates. When you cross a bridge, it shows what time you cross. Once you cross the other side, it's getting you on that side too. So you go over, it's getting you. When you cross over the bridge, it's getting you on the other side, and vice versa. You said I got pulled with that. You said they even fly helicopters and do radar. Yeah, California does the radar. I know about that. Like, if you're going a certain speed limit, they run that radar, and if you're making it, because they got some parts like that out here where you see a lot of these bands in a row, like they're painted. And if you start passing them at a certain amount of rate, that's how they know you're speeding. Like you're doing better time than what we got this road rated at. And they can send you a ticket like that. Matter of fact, I want to say down in Iowa, they got, um, those plate reader lights. So if you're coming at a certain speed, they'll just send you the ticket in the mail. Like, yeah, you were caught doing this speed coming through, this particular part on a highway doing this amount. And you got to rectify it like that. So it's more things that they're putting in place to try to get your money. But yeah, Cadillac JJS, I was just saying, in your area, didn't you say you got a curfew? Is it around 11 or how's the because like I said, they just did the shelter in place here, and I know Knowledge G, he's down in Dallas, and he was asking about that. But I know he said they haven't did that there. Matter of fact, let me I'm going to put on a hotline number in case someone wants to actually call in. But let me set up everything where that will actually work. Let me see. Just give me some time. Usually, if I have another person on with me, I could, the dead space I can fill up. But I'm gonna make it happen. Let me see. Let me go to the thing so I can post the number. Let's see. Oh, you said yeah, we still got it 11 p.m. curfew. Now, what happens after like if you get caught after 11 p.m. or what have they said? Like what happens then? Because they ain't said anything about a curfew, but essentially everything shuts down. Like I said, damn near around here around 8, because there ain't no bars, there ain't no strip clubs, none of that stuff's open. So then what happens? That's what I want to know. Let me see. Okay, I'm about to put in the hotline number. Let's see here. There it goes. The hotline is open. If you want to call, I will take your call. I don't duck calls, I take calls. As long as you're not talking crazy. A $500 fine? Gosh, damn. You said let me see, they say they are taking you to jail or they can write you a ticket. Well, it's a hard thing because I know the counties are closed. So how do you get out of jail? That would be the thing too. How do you get out? Do you get out after all this, everything opens back up? How does that actually work? Because I know around here, none of the DMVs are open. So I know I'm supposed to get tabs on one of my cars come the end of the month. But if the DMV ain't open, can I still drive it like that? Or do I have to sit it down somewhere? Oh, you said they stopping people and asking you where are you going now. Low over in Cleveland, do y'all got an order? I didn't check to see if y'all got an order. I just know I done heard about things being a ghost town and things not being normal and things like that. I like to know how everybody's area where they're at, what you know, what's going on and what's different, because I'm quite sure you experience something different. You know, I don't know, probably no state that in the union that's, oh, we're just still everything's operating normal. Nah, it's something different around your way. What up, Jay Just? Not much. So 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 tell me what's going on in your town though. Mm. So y'all's counties is still open? Like, but I mean, like, say if you wanted if you had to renew your license, you could do that. Okay, okay. So that's why I say I wonder how that works if you get arrested then. Because if that's closed, they can't, because I've been hearing about, people having to go to court or something like that, and they're like, no, that's deferred till, further notice, or checking in with probation officers. Oh no, that ain't going on because nobody's working right now.
Yeah, I ain't too sure about that. I don't want to know neither, cause
Right, right,
you know, nah, the curfew is 11, nigga, but I'm out right now. Like we ain't stopping. You know what I'm saying? That's just how it is. Like I don't know. I'm
mm,
working.
right,
They get me. I'm gonna say I'm working, man. I'm at work. Y'all interrupt shit.
right. Now
But
they
yeah,
ain't.
no, I wanted to
Go ahead.
about the plate read. I got a plate read a couple months ago though in the work truck.
Mm,
The state trooper pulled up and he was just pulling up like on the side. You know how everybody get in the right lane on the highway when the state trooper pulling up.
right.
And he like pulled up and almost got past me and then stopped and came back and got behind me and then pulled me over.
Mm,
Like it had to be like whatever he had in there was reading the plate because he couldn't have just been cruising up that smooth and then just stop beside me and then stop and get behind me and pull me like that.
right.
So I think he was reading,
Mm-hmm. Now when he
This
pulled
was
you
in North Carolina.
now when he pulled you over, what did he say?
He said your plate is expired.
Mm.
But it just so happens that week, that other week, it was either that week or the week before. It just so happened that I had the paperwork in the truck about the tag. So I guess he had to call up with whatever he was reading or whatever he was doing. So when he pulled me over, I just, grabbed all the paperwork. I said, hey, here go the taxes on and everything's straight. I just didn't get the tag for it yet. But
Right.
on my paperwork straight, I'm waiting. I told him I'm waiting on it to come in the mail, but I was just saying whatever. I was freestyling, saying whatever come to my mind.
Right, right, right.
But that's how they doing it for real though. Like they will really pull up on you smooth, like you won't even know,
Mm-hmm.
and pull you too. So you better, have your paperwork right.
Right. Or you gonna get your issue for real. I remember I wanna say my white big Brougham, my Brougham I had, I think y'all seen it in one of the when I was showing all my cars. I had pulled it out of stores, and when it had been parked for maybe about 3 years. So, in a system, it probably didn't catch up like how you were saying. So they jumped all behind me and everything. Hey, this car ain't registered. Like, no, it just ain't in your system. And I pulled out the paperwork and then they went about their business. But they see a brother in like you was using your work vehicle. Like, well, what's he doing? Why is these expired? Did he steal it or something? No, ain't none of that. Y'all system ain't caught up.
Yeah, that's crazy, ain't it?
Right? Yeah.
But I ain't think about that neither. But even though he was, fucking with me, I still kept it cool. I still was like mellow with it. Like I didn't trip out it. I knew it wasn't right. He was trying to fuck with me,
Right.
but I had some shit in the back anyway. But I still was being cool though. I was just like, yes, officer, no officer, shit like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm still trying to be cool. Like you said, you never know. They
Right.
might be programming it in for the next time they pull you. You know what I'm saying? They might already have the information logged in. Like, okay, yeah, he was resisting or he was, you know,
Yeah, belligerent or all that. That counts. A lot of people don't understand that. They're like, "Oh, I'm sick of fucking." Yeah, I know a lot of people are sick of this, but you see how people get gunned down for less. So nah, I'm gonna be cool. Like, yeah, I know you do. Think about it like this. A lot of brothers don't think about it like this. If you in the street and you getting robbed by another person like you ain't gonna be like, motherfucker, what you gonna do? You ain't gonna be like that. You gonna be like, yeah, take what you want, cause I don't want to get a bullet hole in me.
yeah,
And that's how I look at them. They like robbers. They just a robber with a badge.
yep. I had my little phone on record too, I
Right,
was just
right. You got to
recording
do
it just
that.
in case.
Mm-hmm.
But it was all good, shit. But yeah, that's all we got going on. We got the curfew, we got the cops riding around, we got these young niggas. They still doing what they want to do. I don't know how long the curfew gonna go or whatever, but they say it's gonna be up in a couple weeks though.
Right. Yeah, they said, well, I won't say the curfew, but around here they just calling it shelter in. They said it ends April 10th, so we'll see if it really ends around that date.
Yeah, it might not. I don't know. We'll see. But
Right.
I can't talk long because I'm out. I'm supposed to be in, ain't it? But I'm out. So I gotta keep my eyes open. I gotta watch them. they're gonna see me before I see them. I just gotta be prepared. So I'm gonna stay tuned back in, but I'm gonna hit y'all back. Tell everybody else what's up.
All right. Thanks for calling in. Peace.
All right.
That was kind of like Jay Jussie added to the conversation. Hey, y'all can do that too. The hotline is posted. It is. I can't say it because see people hear the replay and be trying to call it when it ain't the live stream. But scroll through the actual chat, you'll see the hotline posted. Okay, Lo, you said you got to have permission slip if you got to go to work past certain hours. That's crazy. But it's believable. The times we're in, I don't put past nothing. You know, we're in uncharted territory. Like I said, I've never seen anything like this in my lifetime. And if we do got anybody that goes back to 1918 that can formulate sentences that ain't jumbled up with their thinking, call in and be like, yeah, I remember back in 1918, the flu, and they had this going on. Hey, call in, but I'm quite sure it's nobody that's walking around with the right marbles from 1918. But yeah. Same situation went down last so-called pandemic. So who's all still there? I know Cadillac J just said he's still out there making moves. Low, I assume you still here. Knowledge G, I don't know if you still here. Infamous Lisa Smith. Rated Shot, are you still here? And anybody else that hasn't had time to speak up and say what's going on, Reek? Let me see. And I appreciate the thumbs up. Hey, if you like this particular live stream, hit the like button. The like button is for the people, not for me, for the people. The people that actually chime in and comment and leave messages and things like that. Take the time to call in. Call in because it's about that's what I do the live streams about. It's about, okay, let me call in and voice my opinion on what I see going on in the world, and let the masses hear, not me, let the masses hear. I got a mass amount of following, even though it's saying set amount of numbers. But like I said, they practice systemic racism when it comes to my channel because I let brothers and sisters speak how they will when it's imparting something on their brain. They don't like that. So that's why I get the uh, limitations placed on my particular live streams. Let me see. Yeah, so okay, so you still there, Infamous, and you still there, Rated Shot. Yeah, hopefully, yeah, y'all could come with some particular time that y'all both have some set aside time to do a Infamous Lisa Smith, Rated Shot, Infamous Lisa Smith, a takeover of Tuku the Khan, And hopefully y'all got to enjoy, when I had King Righteous on, I gotta start having them on a little bit more, and I'll say, I think, let me see, today's Wednesday going into Thursday, either Friday or Saturday, it will be an all new Lions Den. I hope you tune into that. It's another one that will hopefully be something to impart some needed intelligence in your psyche. So make sure as soon as you see that notification or you scroll through and Rick got a new one on the Lions Den. I gotta tune in on that and see what's going on that particular podcast. Take your time to do that. Like I said, I done had so much good feedback from the Lions Den. Matter of fact, lately I've been getting a lot of comments on a lot of the older ones. Like, man, Rick, you and Ken be, y'all be, bringing up and chopping up some dialogue that, I ain't never heard that, coming from anybody else. I'm glad to hear y'all brothers, chopping it up and breaking it down for us brothers. And I applaud that. I love having phenomenal conversations, not one trick pony ass shit that don't mean shit that's gonna get people incarcerated. I don't do that. And if I did do that, I made all that shit go away. Bye bye. Puff goes the dragon. It's gone because it didn't mean nothing. Let me see. So besides what's next, what else do you want to talk about? I mean, I know it seemed like a lot of times it seems like it's a lot of gloom and doom. We could take it to a different direction if you want to. That's just on y'all. Like I said, usually it's freestyle, but I figured, hey, we got a lot of things going on in this country, that you know deals with us, and deals with our pocketbooks. A lot of people are relieved from duty, from retrieving revenue. So now you got to go into your putaways for rainy days to make it to another day. Hopefully you got everything in place. You've been on a gig long enough to receive some type of supplementary benefits that will benefit you and yours. Hopefully you don't have to beg people for money. That's a bad thing. You got to beg people for money when you're a willing and able individual. Always have a hustle about yourself. Always. Now I'll say this. Now rate it. Let me see. We're gonna get different responses. I want to see what the response is. If you still there, infamous, what do you want to talk about once you come back on with Rated Shot? Rated Shot. What do you want to talk about if you come when you finally had a time to come back on with the infamous? I want y'all to post that up, and then we'll see what kind of mix. If y'all's meeting at the mines, the many times y'all done came with different topics and talked about certain things. What say y'all? And I'm still here. I'm just waiting to see what's to be said. Hey, and if you see fit, hit the hotline. And if not, we've been on 62 minutes. If it's starting to, get a little dry for you, I can hang it up and, maybe try another day of going live. Okay, you said just listening. Well, I'll give it another minute, and I'm gonna wrap it up. But hopefully, a lot of regulars. I mean, most of y'all regulars was in here, and some of the newbies, some of the new people that comment. Y'all was in here, but we still been missing Williams. Let me see. I can't remember. Did Joe Frank? Let me see. Did you come in here, Joe Frank? Yeah, Joe Frank. Yo, Joe Frank was up in here. Um, yeah, just missing a couple of the regulars, but it ain't nothing. I know people moving around. I don't want to say we haven't seen Bro, we haven't seen Dre Chili. Matter of fact, if you're listening, Lisa Smith, Dre Chili said he enjoyed the last particular live that you did. Said you did phenomenal on, giving out the props and what you were conveying. And that's what's up. That's why I have you on. That's why I have Ready Shot on. Shot, you're gonna have to let me know when you touch down in the town again. We're gonna have to do another one. Hopefully, we could get to the TP and you can film from the TP versus filming from the telly, and that's what will be. That's what will go down. Let me see. You said, oh yeah, and choice. I can't forget choice. Can't forget choice. Channel of choice. You said, I see they changed the name instead of coronavirus. Yeah, they call it COVID-19. They want to switch people up. Oh, it's two things. No, it's the same thing. It's the same patent number uh, 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 product that they're peddling. It's a pharmaceutical company that got that. Because I'm quite sure they'll come. Oh, look, we got a vaccine now. Oh, you can take it. Oh, it actually has the dead virus in it. No, I'll have none of it. If it has a patent number, I'm not having any ejection of it. Sorry, I'm not with it. That being said, I'm up out of here. Hey, y'all have a lovely night. Hopefully, it ain't no drama. Hopefully, the curfew ain't too stiff if they bring one to your town. Hopefully, it can get lifted and you can get back to, I can't even say normal business. You can get back to business. It won't be a business as usual. It'll be business as whatever they dictate it to be. But stay up, and I'm up out of here.